here is a pretty heavily upgraded Talon Claw. If you're looking for something low power and compact, something that you can, pump and rattle off several shots with really quickly, or if you want something that's accurate and high power and sniper-ish, the Talon Claw definitely fulfills all those roles just fine. I'm just going to work from front to back, kind of like I did with the Caliburn. I'm going to say a lot of similar things to what I said with the Caliburn, and just kind of spew some info here. This Talon Claw, I assembled it with about 11 inches of 0.495 inch inner diameter aluminum barrel. I really like aluminum barrels. I honestly prefer them over brass, simply because they're so much sturdier and you don't have to worry about the alignment of your blaster, because in brass, oftentimes if the alignment of your blaster is ever so slightly off, you risk having some pretty nasty jams, jams such that could even damage your blaster. But the Talon Claw is available with 495, 509, and 527, which is default inner diameter barrels from smallest to largest. And then, of course, we offer brass. You can get these barrels in different lengths. If you get a smaller one, we're going to have a coupler sent to you to allow the transition of the Ramcore to the smaller diameter barrel. Essentially, the rule of thumb is the tighter the barrel and the longer the barrel, in general, the faster your darts. However, there is some slight variance. For example, if your barrel is too long and too tight, you may actually lose performance. So just keep that in mind. My recommendation for just good all around and not overkill would be probably a 12-inch 509 barrel for the Talon Claw. Here we have an angled foregrip. This is the small angled foregrip. There are bigger ones, so if you have bigger hands, you can get the normal one. If not, the small one's just fine. Highly recommend the angled foregrip. Makes things really comfortable. You can kind of wrap all the way around and grab the whole thing. Get a really good grip on it, and it doesn't wear out your hand as much as the rail does. The Railgasm, I highly recommend it. It is mostly cosmetic. However, it does seriously strengthen the front half of your blaster. And of course, you have all this rail up here if you want to add something to it. Highly recommend carbon fiber. If you don't want to get carbon fiber, you can get metal aluminum spacer tubing, which is just as great. It just looks different. Highly recommend that because it just makes everything sturdy up here. As we come back here, we have the Ramcore that you guys saw. The Ramcore has a notch on it, which is default, which is essential in my opinion. The dog bone cut on the Ramcore allows you to throw a magazine straight in and pull it straight out without having to pump it back. Normally, you'd have to pump it back, pull the magazine, and then pump it forward and deprime it. So I highly recommend the dog bone or Vanguard cut. It has an aluminum ram base, as you saw earlier. Aluminum ram bases are very sturdy and have very good seals and are very durable. However, if you just want to stick with a PLA ram base, that's totally fine. You can get a perfect air seal out of that too. However, be warned that PLA can lose its seal over time, and the same goes for the plunger. Aluminum plunger, very durable, very long life, very good seal. It just doesn't. The PLA ones tend to not last as long, but they do still work right out the box. That's something to keep in mind. You can also get acetal ram cores, or not ram cores, but ram bases and plungers. Those work just as good as aluminum, and they're a little bit more affordable. I personally have acetal plunger and ram base in my Caliburn. I highly recommend it. So if you're not going to get PLA, you can get either acetal or is it Delrin or acetal? I don't know. Or aluminum. Highly recommend those. This is using a K25. You can get a K31, which is great for like kids who are indoors. It's going to shoot just a little bit harder than a normal Nerf gun with a K31, and it's a really easy prime. You can pump it back really easily so kids can use it. The 788 spring is the next step up. The 788 spring is a little bit stiffer, but still quite easy to prime, so it's good for rapid fire and decent velocity. This is the K25, which is a good middle ground of power and easy prime. Next up is the K26, which is significantly stronger than the K25 and just gives you more power. It is a bit stiffer of a prime, but definitely not impossible. And then there's the K14, which I basically don't recommend. It's a ridiculously beefy spring that is pretty risky to use, and it's really, really hard to prime. So just letting you know. We have the sliding buttstock, which is definitely a cool upgrade. You definitely don't need it, obviously. The Talon Claw is small enough such that you can kind of run it without a stock. The stock is nice, though, and it is cool how it folds up. It's pretty compact. Just pump it up against my shoulder here real quick. There we go. So you can fold it back easily. This one just turned out a little tight. I do actually recommend that. It's pretty cool. You can get the grip insert, makes it a little comfortable. This thing just looks cool. Aluminum sear is not entirely necessary at all. Like I said, I have yet to see a plastic sear wear out, but the aluminum sear is definitely a nice peace of mind. You know that it's going to work, and you know that it's going to last a long, long time. So yeah, at the end of the day, my recommendations are a lot basically like this exact blaster. The coupler inserts are a great idea, not necessary, but they help it have durability and stability. The aluminum plunger Rambase, durable, reliable, great seal, carbon fiber up here, nice and sturdy, Railgasm up here, nice and sturdy. Just, I like things that make the blaster nice and sturdy and durable. So this whole thing is just rock solid. You can't really give it a twist. It's just sturdy, and it can definitely take some serious use. But yeah, I think that about covers everything. I'm probably forgetting something, but I feel like I've covered enough. Yeah, really recommend the Talon Claw. Even if you already have a caliber, the Talon Claw is just fun. For some reason, I've found a lot of Talon Claws to be pretty impressively accurate. I can't really explain why, but that's just an observation that I've made recently. Highly recommend it. Go get yourself one. Really fun little blaster. And even if you're just getting into this hobby, I think it's a great start. So there you have it, guys. The Talon Claw.